Session 2, the Universal Principles and the Purpose in Life. By observing the universe as a whole, we can see that each entity exists in pairs in the animal, vegetal, and mineral world kingdoms, and also for human beings. Nothing exists individually. It is thanks to the fact that each element finds a partner with which to enter into a relationship that it can exist, develop, and even multiply. Let's look at the three kingdoms and humanity. Each entity has the characteristics of yang, masculinity, positivity, and yin, femininity, negativity, and can only exist when these complementary pairs form mutual relationships. For example, the mineral world is formed through the interaction between negative and positive particles. In the plant world, the relationship between stamens and pistil ensures the reproduction of plants. For example, through insects. Animals perpetuate their species through the instinct that prompts them to mate. It is the sexual relationship between men and women that allows humanity to multiply. The symbol used here indicates the potential for two complementary entities to interact and unite to form a pair, a new entity. To human beings, this new entity is called the couple. Another even more fundamental pair system for existence is that of the inner and outer characteristics that each entity possesses. For example, human beings are composed of mind and body. The body can be said to be the visible expression of the mind and partly reflects the character of a person. In these pairs, we find two partners, a subject which initiates and an object who responds. They interact through a giving and receiving action that generates all the forces that the entity needs in order to exist, develop, and multiply. For example, a human being feels the joy of having climbed a mountain. The more he has overcome difficulties climbing, and the greater the joy he will express through his body. The teacher who asks questions receives more energy as the students are interested in her teaching and respond to her, and in this way develop. For any partners to interact and unite in a lasting way, they need a common basis and also a higher purpose. For animals, it is the survival of the species that is the higher goal rooted in their instinct. Human beings who share a common higher purpose can maintain lasting interaction if they apply the universal principle of living for others. Thanks to this couple can develop, realize their common objective, and feel joy, peace, and happiness in their lives. This principle of living for the sake of others applies to all levels of interactions. For the individual who unites his body and mind, the body becomes the vehicle that allows the spirit to develop. Thus, the spirit gives the body spiritual elements that energize it and keep it healthy. For the couple, if the spouses live for each other, they can build a harmonious family. And in the family, if parents unconditionally invest in their children's development and can constantly seek renewed harmony among all, it will thrive. In the nation, the government acts under the rule of law with its legislative, executive, and judicial organs. If imbued with wisdom and values, it serves the people. If the people are mature, free, and cooperative, they can realize an ideal, peaceful, and prosperous nation for all. Finally, at the global level, if human beings appreciate and take care of their environment, which gives them everything they need, they bequeath to their descendants a richer and more beautiful environment than the one they have inherited. We will examine all these points in more detail in the following presentations. But now, the main question is, what is the purpose of life? When we talk about a higher purpose for a human being, what is it? What is the primary purpose in the life of a man or a woman? Acquire wealth, a social status, power over others, knowledge? Clearly knowing one's purpose in life allows one to follow a consistent path during the relatively short period that everyone spends on planet Earth. An article in Existential Psychology highlights that it is more essential to wonder about one's purpose in life than to seek happiness. This means that if I understand my basic purpose in life, I can walk a straight path and feel the happiness of moving forward consistently in my life. So let's try to find out what it is. During our stage in the womb, we're not aware that one day we will come out of our watery environment to breathe air. However, if during these 9 months or so, the organs and particularly the lungs do not develop, we die at birth. Now, in the same way as in the womb, it takes a process of development for the body to survive on Earth. So what must we develop in our 3-dimensional material environment? Everyone seeks peace and happiness. Is there a life after? There are people who believe that the end of the physical body means the end of everything. But it is clear that if there is a life after, you absolutely have to understand what it is, or else you risk living your life without having prepared for an afterlife. More and more scientific research, books, films, documentaries question this belief of no life after death. They speak of a soul, of a higher consciousness which survives the body and gains another dimension after the death of the physical body. It even seems that this is a viewpoint widely adopted by scientists who question the limits and certainties of materialistic science. Yet another interaction between science and religion, as we saw in the very beginning. In this case, our life on Earth is a preparation for the afterlife. So what are the essential life missions or goals we need to fulfill during our life on Earth? What kind of environment are we going to live in? Water? Air? Actually, the spiritual world is a world of love. Everybody on Earth wants love, wants to be loved and wants to love. So it does not require lungs, but a developed and mature heart and mind. That makes it possible to breathe love. Then how do we develop this being so we can enjoy the life after? This question boils down to asking, what is the purpose of life? Is it taught in schools? Is it advertised on TV or social media? We have more and more references to ways of living a responsible life on Earth, and we find a concise three-step process in the Old Testament. In Genesis 1:28, it is written that God created human beings in his image and gave them what can be called three blessings. And it is written to be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth. We will see in the following presentations the deep meaning of these three blessings as to develop one's personality in order to prepare to bear good fruit, to get married, and to form a sustainable family, and also create a pleasant environment for all. Questions to session 2. Knowing that the subject partner initiates and the object partner responds, give examples in which you act as subject or object partner. Are these two interchangeable? Knowing that a common goal allows people to pull on the same rope, what is the higher purpose that you share with your parents, siblings, partner? And finally, what is your purpose in life?